Why is Euphroxia general? Because General Euphroxia is better than Wyvern Euphroxia. Or not Wyvern Euphroxia. General Euphroxia is better than Mage Euphroxia. I would say in general, but especially in a zero growth setting where, you know, you've got a very stringent limit for pre-promotes, right? Like, you want the strong pre-promote. I was talking to Rubinio in Discord. Trans Sandy is meant to be a possible interpretation and not the correct one for Hestia X Sandy boss quote. That's neat. That's neat. How does she become general? Oh, you're asking... Okay, I've misunderstood the premise of the question. So if you do not recruit Euphroxia in chapter... What is it, chapter 5? You have the option? Yeah, if you don't recruit her in chapter 5, then... Oh, I messed up. I messed up because he's supposed to be 1 north. So if you don't recruit her in chapter 5, then in the big defend map, which takes place on the same field but zoomed out, you know how her house is like a little tiny house? You can recruit her there and she's a general. But she gets swords instead of lances and axes. So she has the same ranks as her daughter. Which is pretty cool. I thought she comes pre-promoted, not like a whole other class. I mean, like, both, basically, because, you know, general is pre-promoted. But it's also, you know... I mean, it's not unrelated to mage, because she's like a magical general, right? But it's also not, like, you know, the same, if that makes sense. Real simply Shamshire. Damn. That's wild. We failed to crit. That's a bad unit moment. Telemus. I think what we do is we Maelstrom you. That might be an oopsie as well. That might be... Okay. So we got you fuckers. Okay, we rescue you down. We gotta... Euphroxia goes here with Thunder. You rescue here. Okay, you go here and transform. Now you go here and kill the Falcon Knight with the Lance Reaver, which we can only do because of the rally. We double specifically because of the rally. Chat, I love the palette that Wyvern Glaucus has. I think it's epic and awesome. Does Sandy support trans wrongs but not trans rights? Probably. I mean, I don't think Sandy really cares about wrong and right. I think Sandy cares about Sandy. I think Sandy cares about Sandy. if I had to hazard a guess. I think wrong and right is just like a concept that doesn't matter. What is this? This is the Hag in White. This is, it's a fan game from, or I guess ROM hack, fan game, same difference. From last year, where the focus is you only get one healer. I know we have 2 healers. Spoilers, you get a second healer. But the idea is that healing magic is considered heretical. So it's, you know, exceptionally rare, I guess would be the, you know, the important part. And so, you know, just sort of dealing with the ramifications of that. Very good video game. My favorite hack of last year. I'm a huge fan of the story. It's like it's all about, you know, like the ideas of, you know, redemption, forgiveness, that sort of stuff. And both the, you know, the main story obviously follows on that, but then each individual character has sort of their own sub-story around the ideas of, you know, like grappling with one's past and guilt and you know, forgiveness, self-forgiveness, and the ways in which they sort of like all manifest similarly but differently. Healing is evil in the real world. It costs money, but healthcare should be free. Well, no, this isn't like that. It's, you know, in this world, healing magic, they literally steal the life force from people, right? Like, it's... That's why it's considered heretical. And, like, in fairness, like, you know, the church is evil also is part of it. Like, you know, in fairness to the healers, the church is evil. Pew pew! Try your hardest not to get spoiled on the story. Yes, if you're planning on playing it, I mean, obviously, you know, you can do what you want, but if you're planning on playing it, my recommendation would be to leave this stream, because we are, we're spoiling things, basically. That's why I have the thing up top that says, like, the stream will be spoilers, and I think this is not just, like, the best Fire Emblem story, one of the best video game stories, and even, you know, outside of video games, just a very, very fucking good story. The nice thing is that it takes the Path of Radiance approach to base conversations, in that even if you don't, like, field someone, you get all their, like, conversations and supports and stuff. So even the characters who, like, you don't end up using on your team, you'll get a general idea of their, or not, I say general idea, like, you'll see their, you can see their whole story arc, basically. And because of that, you get all these different, like, stuff. My only complaint with Hag is the post-game. I mean, I think that's a stupid complaint. I'll just be, like, perfectly blunt about it. Most games, whether they're, you know, ROM hacks or original, don't even have a post-game. I think, you know, if your complaint is that you don't like this sort of bonus portion of the game, I think that's a little bit silly. I think you should look at it as, you know, the bonus that it is, and if you don't like it, then, you know, you don't have to play it. The post-game crashed on me, and I lost my save. I mean, again, most games, I don't know, I find because this was a complaint people had about Ghost of Yotei as well, is like, oh, but there's no post-game, and I cannot, for the life of me, like, put myself in the position where I've played through this entire experience. I loved it front to finish. And then I'm like, now I'm mad that it's over, and then that's, you know, that's the game's problem, right? I don't know. It's a perfectly full experience without the bonus content. You don't need to play it to be fulfilled. Yeah, that's how I feel. I think that any sort of post-game or new game plus stuff should always be looked at as a bonus. I think devs should, and usually do, focus on making the, like, experience a full and enjoyable experience rather than going for any sort of specifically post-game type stuff. And this obviously, you know, it goes beyond the scope of HAG, in that regard, but it's something I've noticed more and more lately, and I think because we'll get these, you know, very brilliant, games that are, like, supplemented by either, you know, infinitely replayable in the case of, like, roguelikes or whatever, like Balatro, or just having very robust, functional post-game, you know? Silksong, the game is over after Act 2, and Act 3 is functionally just, like, all bonus, right? To get true ending. And, you know, so you look at these experiences and they're beloved, and I would say for good reason, right? Like, even having not played Balatro, I can see why people like it so much, right? But it sort of sets this precedent that I don't think is necessarily, like, fair to hold other experiences to, of, like, not everything needs to, or even really can, provide that sort of infinite replayability, that post-game stuff, all that. The post-game is also, like, the story-wise, from what I understand, it's a lot lighter tone. It doesn't fit with sort of the themes, because it's meant to just be having fun with these characters in this setting, right? And I think that's cool. Yeah, it's almost like official fanfic. God, even with double triangle disadvantage, Telemus is at 72 hit. Ridiculous. You love to see it. I made it to chapter 14 in Thracia. Nice! I almost played Thracia today, but decided instead, to do more HAG. And I'll probably do Thracia, like, either tomorrow or sometime soon. How do you with the silver sword? 22. Okay. You go here with the silver sword. We're sending, our Air Force to the upper left because we want to visit the temple. Because there's a recruitable character up there, Demeter. Killing Edge, does that kill you? It does, okay. Wyvern Ophelia, just all green. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Alright, so we're gonna need to physic up Glaucus. I think we also need to heal Fazang. If we rally here... okay, you being down there is good. That means you can't reach. Oh, this fucker. Oh, and we can't... Maybe if we reposition? No, because the mountains. The fucking mountains. Oh, you can longbow. That kills. Okay. I think we need to make use of Fructuoso here as well. Just to protect y'all, yeah. Fructuoso's gonna be here for the generals. Oh, the fucking Devil Axe. Okay. I think we need to start by longbowing this peg. Because she's, like, a problem if we let her live. Right? So, Ziying... Can Kyra kill the general? Probably with Maelstrom, right? Maelstrom's like baller. Yeah, we can shoot with Maelstrom. The fact that Kyra is still contributing like this much on 0 growths is kind of ridiculous. This map looks huge. It's pretty big. It's like all mountains too. And there's wave upon wave upon wave of Wyvern and Falconite reinforcement that can be kind of obnoxious. Okay, get a crit, Jingy. Yes! He's the GOAT! He's the GOAT! My mid-king! My mid-as-fuck king! Okay. So, okay, you 35 attack. Jesus Christ, 35 attack. Can Telemus kill this guy? Like, can you just fucking kill this person? Oh my goodness. Can Fazang? With Fenrir, probably? 21. Oh my goodness. Okay. And you... Okay. You don't move. You don't move. You don't reach. So if we have Fazang do this, and then Telemus does this. Okay. So Fazang goes here. Flux, that's 28, knocks it down to 20... 18? Yeah. Okay, we can Flux the Devil Axe guy. My first playthrough, I missed Polonius. I accidentally misclicked and killed the zombie. Oh my god, misclicking and killing zombies is like the worst. That's happened to me, but I always reset for it. Alright, you kill the Devil Axe guy. I missed Ziying, Demeter, and technically Plato. I got him, but Pluto died later in the map, so he left too. Wait, he leaves if Pluto dies? That's funny. I missed Plato. I suspected he was recruitable, but I didn't bother because he looked awful. Oh, we didn't give the talisman to anyone. I forgot that there's a talisman on Zingy. But I missed, Telemus. I missed Telemus. I think I missed some other people, too. Okay, Euphroxia. reposition Fructuoso, and you go here. Then Fructuoso goes here with the hand axe. So now the only person who can reach Fazang is lured into Fructuoso Gaming. So Apate goes here. Physics up Glaucus. Oh god, these ranges. Okay. Tiresias, what's your con? You 14-8, okay. We take, drop, wait. And I guess we do get to Physic up Fazang. I just wanted to lure Fructuoso just in case. Okay. So this map it's got a tricky sort of like dual set of objectives. We have to seize that like top fort, but also in the top left is a boss we need to kill, Nestor, and he's tricky. He's a wyvern, he has the anti-flying shield. Zingy the goat, you love to see it. Zingy's awesome. I missed Jason because I'd heard about Glaucus's discount and thought he'd be showing up on that map. I just intentionally didn't hire Jason. He didn't seem worth it, and I maintain that I'm correct about that. He was not worth it. These Falco Knights don't fuck around. Okay. Kestros to kill this person. Pew pew pew! Pew pew pew! Jason has 2 killer weapons and an Earthquake Tome, right? Jason has a Silver Bow, an Earthquake Tome, and a Killer Axe, I want to say. But he also, like, blasts his way through them. I like Glaucus Kestros on this map to kill the flyers. He's so goated. Yeah. I mean, why do you think we have Ophelia copying him? Aside from, like, you know, just having another flyer. He's a goat! He's the goat! We do need to physic up Ophelia, though. Jason is not asking for much gold. He's still mid, though. The funny thing is, in our army, his level of mid is godly. Like, did you see him last map and how ridiculous he was? MVP status. Not even joking. He made the thumbnail for that episode on the Ice Riders because he was just so good, despite being so bad. Absolutely worth the money in a zero growth setting. Nowhere else. Smiley face. Alright, we Maelstrom you. Most usage Jing Yi has ever gotten. Yeah, I've literally never used the Mamluks before. I've never used the Mamluks before. But, you know, I'm surprised at how, like, decent they are, right? I'm not gonna pretend they're good. They're decent. And like, that's more than I expected. They're decent, and like, that's enough. Right, they both have Tomebreaker, so that's not gonna be great. Tomebreaker cancels out Tomebreaker. Ooh, but we can do this. And then we can rescue you out. Yeah, okay. We'll have Xing Ying. Bows and move be Reich. Yeah, I mean, like, I used Xing Ying in my first playthrough, and he's kind of like a Mamluk. You know, swords, bows, 7 move instead of 8, but like, you love it still. We love him, he's our precious little boy. Okay, so what we do is you go here, Sagel, please. Just hit, 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 just hit. No! Fuck! Dodge, 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 dodge. Not good! We have Physic. So now Fructuoso goes here. 8 res versus... Oh, it just cuts in half. Okay. So yeah, you go here, Fructuoso goes here, lures that. We gotta kill this general, but we can probably cleave bow you, right? Jason cleave bow? Baba Booey! That's our gold-plated ugly motherfucker. I might skip Fructuoso on my next run just to see how I do without Provoke. I would recommend it. It feels like a completely different game. I skipped him on my first playthrough. Like, I fell for the classic trap of, God, this guy seems terrible. He damages himself? I thought that was me, right? I fell for that classic trap. And still incredibly fun. You know, harder, much harder. But that's how it goes, you know? That's how it goes. I thought Skymerius' suspiciousness was just a joke. I still don't know the deal with their suspiciousness. Like, I know they disappear. Do we ever find out why? Like, what's going on with that? You know? Something, something. TMGC Callum is good. Something, something. Main Gouge. I found the one Callum fan in the world. I found the one Callum fan in the world. Callum is another one of those units like, Beatrix, where I'm just like, I don't even know how to argue against them to anyone who, like, defends them, because I feel like we're playing different games at that point, you know? It's like, what are we doing here, right? They have ties to Alistor. Okay, so that's why they skipped the one map. Why did they skip the other? Why did they skip the map in, like, in the mid-game, right? After the first road stop or whatever, right? Because that's presumably why they skipped here. Maybe it's related to the whole orphanage burning thing. Maybe. The Lance Splitter. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. Okay, Shamshir? Yes! The crit! Our god is here. I play games on easy mode. Beatrix is fun female thief. Oh wait, no, not Beatrix. What's the... Oh, who's the fucking witch? We had the debate last time about, like, this anti-sniper unit that's incapable of killing archers is actually bad. $31.29. So 31, 15, 16, 14. Okay. So what we need to do. Physic. You. I'm TMGC Callum and Coronis' defender. I feel like we're just playing different games at that point. Like, Callum is like proof that you can actually make a provoke unit bad. I mean, all of the Viridians have obviously the problem to an extent of just showing up late, right? So they're battling an uphill battle to begin with. But then you run into the, like... Callum's not really a provoke user. Callum gets provoke at level 20 promoted, which is a very high, like, benchmark to reach. And by the time he gets to level 20 promoted, one, the game is almost over. So just limited usefulness there. But two, more importantly, he's just not tanky at that point. Like, you know, in the same way that, like, Peggy provoke is useful, but very, very limited, because you gotta basically just use it for siege tomes. If a provoke unit dies to, like, 2 rounds of combat, then what are we doing, right? The better way to tank isn't even with stats, it's with, like, you know, vantage builds or whatever. For the very few units that get it. I don't know, anime phasing just isn't a thing in late game TMGC, unless your name is Agnes. In which case, hello, Agnes. Fire Emblem. So we can kill you with Telemus. 30 attack. That's an axe reaver. So none of you... Do you... Yeah, you are not counted as effective. So 30 versus 23. 7. 25, 23. Okay, so yeah, Telemus just kills the Berserker, right? Yeah, and then counters those people. Everyone talks about the main Goosh, but I've yet to see a secondary Goosh user. Yeah, I mean, so, like, obviously, I guess you solved the tanking issue with main Goosh, but, like, then everyone with S swords does that, right? And you do it for really one enemy phase, and then Mangoosh breaks. Mangoosh is just, like, a stupidly broken weapon, and, like, you love to see it. Fructuoso and Agnes are both enemy phase heroes. Well, Fructuoso's a brigand. We promoted him to Hoplite, which I think is the better option for him. I would say, despite the hero sprite, I think Bounty Hunter is a closer analog to hero as the sword axe unit. Because, Hoplite is closer to, like, Master of Arms, right? If we're comparing, like, vanilla classes. Although, does Master of Arms even count as a vanilla class? Like, it's in Fates. But no other game. And no other game has anything even close to Master of Arms. Like, Great Knight gets all 3 weapons, but that's a mounted class. I don't think that counts. Hoplite is just Master of Arms with hero sprites. Yeah. But, like, it's cool. And that's what matters. Maelstrom U. Do people like the Master of Arms in Fates? There are some people that do. I think in general it's one of the weaker classes in the game. It offers the benefit of giving Vantage in life and death in a single class. And those are skills that are synergistic if you're trying to make a, you know, a Vantage sweeper. So, like, that's good. .30 attack. If we can equip a weapon that doesn't weigh you down on you, you would actually, like, survive and counter. So that's not bad. Okay. We do have to heal Fructuoso. But, like, Fructuoso is just here so that the Siege Tome doesn't bother us. And we rally here. Talonus goes here. Uh-oh. Ophelia's in trouble. $18 AS. Not. Oh, no. Wait, shit, fuck. Okay, I can actually solve this problem, though. By sending Fructuoso down here. That also means we missed a save state turn. That's unfortunate. But if Fructuoso goes here, that means you actually get free reign this turn. Little unfortunate. Not the end of the world. Shoot you down. Ophelia isn't a dancer. She can't dance. Ophelia is a, basically a mimicker. She transforms into other people. Like, into their classes. Or, not just their classes. Like, if you've played FE 1 or 11, you know Zane? It's that. It's that whole deal. The Zane of it all. In Zane, in the membrane. Ophelia is saved from Yu-Yu's fate? What is Yu-Yu's fate of which you speak? Wait, is this Yu-Yu slander? Are there people who think Yu-Yu is a bad unit? I'm so confused. The fate to always turn into a barter dancer. You know what? That is a fate that we are safe from. You know, thankfully. Or unthankfully. You know, it would be good. I guess. Like, Ophelia's a worse unit for being spared from that fate. I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, thankfully or unthankfully, that is what happens. Worse, but fun to see the diverse mimic targets. Yeah, it's been... So it's one of those where, like, fun does not always equal good, I guess. I've been thinking a lot about this. It's adding it to my list of, like, things I need to make a video on. But the idea of, like, balance and bad units and stuff like that, and how, like, I think part of the secret to Fire Emblem's success is that it is such an unbalanced mess. You know, we'll see. I sometimes see people talk about how, like, you know, how could intelligent systems be so bad at design they made Wyverns ridiculous again, like the most unbalanced class, and I was like, well, they're not necessarily supposed to be balanced. Pokemon is similar in a way. You can use your shitty favorites to be after you win. Yeah, Pokemon is also a game where the lack of balance is something that makes the game work. It's more obvious with reclass. I do think it is more of a problem in games where you can freely reclass, specifically Engage and to a lesser extent Three Houses. Because Three Houses heads will be quick to point out, on Maddening mode, certain units have difficulty entering certain classes. You know, making to do a Wyvern is not worth the effort it takes to get there, because all of his boons and banes line up in that way, and, like, that is a true statement. But also, I mean, one, on hard and below, you can make anyone a Wyvern, or anything, right? And two, even then, like, you can fight the uphill battle. You know, Wyvern Dimitri is a thing people do. And it's not like... It's not that hard to get. It's really not that hard to get. Thunderbolt you. Ooh, the crit. You'll love to see it, the crit. But then in Engage, it's just basically reclassing as free. Bum-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. How do you get General Euphroxia? I should just pin a fucking comment that says, like, hey, I have General Euphroxia. I feel like I get asked every 5 minutes, every stream, without fail. It's the constant, wait, General Euphroxia? Yo, what the fuck? Yo, what the fuck? General Euphroxia? Which, like, she is a secret unit. Like, that is, or I guess, you know, a secret promotion? How would you refer to it? It's not a promotion, because she doesn't promote to it, right? But she's also, you know, like, because regular Euphroxia, Mage Euphroxia exists, so, like, Euphroxia is not the secret. Anyway, if you skip her, later you get the opportunity to get her, and she's a general. It's like clockwork. That's how we can tell our save states from now on. Instead of 5 turns, it's just whenever someone asks about General Euphroxia, yo, what the fuck? General Euphroxia? I hope it doesn't feel like I'm making fun of you. I find it funny, but 38. Oh, but Thunderstorm's gonna be active. So 38 plus, what's Thunderstorm again? 3 damage, and the crit! And the crit. Do we have a Hoplon guard? Of course we do. So it's 41. Jason would live. Not doubled? Not doubled. But the Hoplon guard is elsewhere. I think we gotta get the Hoplon guard. I think, like, at this point, we gotta get the Hoplon guard, right? I should probably have used the Martial Scroll more, because I'm about to get the S-Rank Lance, and I don't have anyone that's even close to S-Rank Lances. But that's just the way it goes, I guess. This happens when the dev doesn't make a guide for the game, even if you beat it. I mean, I can understand the annoyance people have at that, but Sam Rubino is very spoiler conscious and doesn't want people to get spoiled, which I think is a fair stance to have as a developer. I don't think it's your responsibility to guide people to secrets. And it's not like these things don't spread, on the internet. Like, I finished my run and I asked, like, hey, what did I miss? And everyone's like, okay, you missed Telemus, you missed General Euphroxia, you missed a couple of other things. None of them, the other thing is, none of them are, like, secrets to the extent where it's, like, nearly impossible to figure out. Even Euphroxia, right? Like, you see her map, you see her house on the map where you could get her as a general, and if you visit it and you already recruited her, it's empty. Like, that already had the gears turning in my head of, like, what if I skipped her? Would I recruit her as, like, an est? So I was gonna test it, and then chat told me at the end of my first run, like, hey, by the way, you know, you'd get her as a general. I'm like, that's so fucking baller. Speaking of so fucking baller, meet Demeter, our 4th and final flyer. These are pretty good stats, you know. not the greatest. I mean, for our army, they're probably the greatest, but from the perspective of a flyer that comes with a leadership star, these are good stats. She is a magical flyer. She's a malignite, so she uses lances and not anima, but light magic. She's a special flavor of malignite. Light magic is probably the best. I mean, I say probably. It's definitely the best of the magic types, right? And we can buy it now as well. So that's pretty cool for Demeter. In terms of, I think she's just a unit you should always deploy. Good stats, flyer, comes with a leadership star. I mean, she's God, right? The obvious reward for the fact that we've completed this fairly difficult side objective of going to all the shrines. The hardest one, of course, is the one in the big defend map, but I would say getting all of them is a little bit tricky. The first one serves to tutorialize it, but then the other one is like guided by the Brave Bow guy, so it can be tricky. She also comes with one of each of the magic weapons she gives you, which is a cute little flavor nod. The only downside, she has Peacebringer. I think this is just a bad skill. This is Izana's personal skill in Fates. And even on him, I think it's just downside. In theory, it can be used for utility because it lowers enemy and player damage within 2 tiles. But in practice, I find that it mostly just hurts your own units. It's far more likely that you will have your allies within 2 tiles. And like if you got an ally within 2 tiles and they get attacked by an enemy, their damage is reduced, but the enemy isn't, unless the enemy's also in that radius. So it's just like, you can use it. You can use it to your advantage. It is far more of a hassle than it's worth. And there will be times where like it either is unavoidable to lower your own unit's damage, or you have to put Demeter in a spot you would rather not, or attack out of order that you would prefer in order to stop Peacebringer from happening. Because oftentimes, like, if Demeter hasn't taken her turn, you can have her move to turn off Peacebringer, or you can wait for her to move so she doesn't turn on Peacebringer. But that does still limit your flexibility, because usually it's best to have Fire Emblem units with lower accuracy attack first, so that if you miss, you can adjust your plan. But with Demeter, you can't always do that. But don't let Peacebringer turn you off of her. She's, like, good stats, right? 21 speed, 18 magic, 15 strength, hybrid attacker. She's frail. Well, for our purposes, no. But 12 defense, 40 HP is frail for this point in the game. But she can stand up to mages pretty good. And she's a flyer. It hurts allies. There are a few scary bosses you can position around to lower the damage, but usually it is not great. Yeah, I would say that. You know, it's one of those skills where there are niche times where it will help you, but it's gonna hurt you far more often than it can help you, and it'll hurt you in ways that are, like, sometimes subtle. Like I said, with the move order thing, where you can play around it by moving Demeter first or last to position her Peacemaker not where you want it. But that itself is a downside because you have to move her first or have to move her last, which gets in the way of, well, I have a 60%, I'll attack with them first and see if they miss, right? It gets in the way of that. She helps with Fructuoso. Not really. She can stop, like, one-range people on Fructuoso, but again, it depends on the positioning, but oftentimes, if an enemy's attacking Fructuoso, they can just be outside of her aura. Like, it really just depends. It being 2 tiles from her, as opposed to anyone in... It's not anyone in combat 2 tiles. It's literally they have to be 2 tiles from her. So it's like... It's tricky. But we're spending too much time talking about the one negative. Like, everything else is good. This seems like a good unit. She is definitely a good unit. Very much. Very much. She also has low enough con that she's like a good rescue bot as a Malignite, which is nice. Because that was the problem that, like, Teresa and Glaucus run into, is their aid is kind of shit. Well, no, actually, no, it's just Teresa. Oh, right, no, right! Ophelia doesn't copy con. So, yeah, Glaucus also has kind of bad aid. So, Demeter having 15 aid is quite good. I'm surprised she doesn't come with any healing ability. I'm not. I feel like, from the perspective of, like, game balance... healing is supposed to be super limited. I guess lore-wise, it could make sense that, like, she's a god, so she has the healing powers and stuff, but I think no. I think from a gameplay perspective, I understand it. Demeter got new 2 near-perfect level-ups back-to-back. Oh, that reminds me, I should read out her growth rates. I didn't come with them prepared because I'm a hack and a fraud. This is also the last unit we get before the Gotos, so I just sort of wasn't prepared. Let me pull up the bot. I have them all typed out in the bot. I just didn't have the bot pulled up. Where are you, Chromar? Demeter. 60% HP, 30% strength, 30% magic, 30% skill, 45% speed, 90% luck, 20% defense, 45% res. The fact you got 2 perfect levels with those growths is impressive, because those are not good growths. Good on you. Well, I guess it's just luck, but luck is a skill. So 27 attack versus 10 res, so that'd be 14. Anyway, for all the doll gamers who thought, like, why did you get those ice spears? Is it for doll? We love doll. It was not for doll. You've been lied to. You've been lied to your whole life. It was for Demeter. Doll meter. Luck is a skill. Those are 2 different stats. Fake Fire Emblem fans spotted. Fake Fire Emblem fans spotted. Yo, she dodged. Huge Demeter W. Huge Demeter W. Dodge tank the meter confirmed. The meter of dodge. The meter of dodge. See, she's a goat. Ah, I'm a goat. Alright, so we will aura you. Kill Nestor. No more Nestle Crunch. I can only hope you fare better, Marina. We get the wing shield. Send it to the convoy. Now. Y'all are a bit of an issue. Okay, we Maelstrom you. That's one issue taken care of. Rally y'all. Okay, we will steel axe you. Nice. Cleave bow you. Cause I want to stay like out of. You're there. Cleave bow you? Oh no, just shy. Euphroxia can kill this one. There we go. Maelstrom is such a good weapon. It's so ridiculous. Okay, we cleave bow you. S-rank bows. Nice, nice. Nice, nice. You go here. Grab the cleave bow. Cleave bow this guy. Dodging, nice. Are those Euphroxia's bases as a general, or did you feed her stat boosters? No, we gave all of our stat boosters to Telemus. This is just what Euphroxia is born like. Well, I guess not born like, she is an old lady after all, but this is just, you know, what being an old lady does to a motherfucker. $30.22. Okay. Menu. Fructuoso can lure these two flyers by going here with the hand axe equipped. And now we just have to worry about this one bounty hunter. Killer bow you, see if we get a crit. No crit, but that's okay. Killer bow you. And now we physic up Jason. There we go. Okay. Physic Jason. You go here. And you go here. Okay. We should be good now. Heal up Glaucus. Her damage with Cupid is gonna, in Zero Growth, is gonna be bad outside of Falco. We are at least getting the good version of Cupid, which is nice. Vasiliki stays unpromoted even as a boss. Yeah, it's tragic. It's tragic for her. Cupid has one range, higher base might, uses strength. Oh, Demeter, do you get doubled? Thank Christ. I thought there was a possibility. Okay. So we Kestros on Kestros violence. Did I miss boss Facility? Not yet. Not yet. It will be boss Facility soon. Okay, we Lance River you. How many rounds of combat would it take for Coronis to beat Facility? I'm not certain. We can run the math. 5 res, 35 HP. What's Coronis' base speed? 11 magic. Plus, what's Fimbulwinter? Is that in our convoy? It might be in our convoy. We can run the math. I just need someone who can go in the convoy as a free action, and it doesn't look like we have that right now. Killer Bow you. 38 luck is a big number, even if it is luck. Yeah, her specialty is luck, which is why you go Mamluck for Devil Sword smiley face. Okay. Fructuoso go on the mountain. Tiresias mend. I remember when Vasiliki's boss was a sniper before Dev changed her to archer. Honestly, I think being an archer is fitting. Because it's like, the idea is that she's untrained because, you know, she never was in a company that, like, actually had people that bothered to care about her, right? Tragically. Jason? Man, Tiresias with Devil Weapons would be goated as a combat unit if he had actual hit rate. Then again, his best use would still probably be staffing. Does Tiresias have a good luck stat? Like, genuine question. I genuinely don't remember / know. You would think Kyra would give Boss Facility a bit of pity. One would hope. But sadly, his luck growth is good. Okay, and that's like supposed to help with the hit rate because skill, you know, garbage. Jason doesn't even 1 round! No! The goat is washed! That's so fucking funny. Why did we pay for you, Jason? You can't even kill a small child. Smile through the pain. Oh my god, you can't fucking tug at my heartstrings like this. Tiresias Rams 30 luck before promotion. Yo, crazy. I'll fully own to, I did not track his stats at all because they don't matter, in my opinion. Like, I'll own that. Just making sure there's no droppables we've missed, right? Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Let's get out of here.